Hey guys, I wanted to make you a quick video going through some hints for this evening's homework. I don't want to give away too much because the problems are actually very easy to solve. The hard part is figuring out these hints that I'm going to tell you. And even if I showed you how to do every problem, you still need to be able to figure them out for yourself. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you more information than this. But what you would start by doing is reading what it states here. AB bisects CD. So that means AB cuts CD in half. So that means a lot of things. You need to be able to interpret that statement. So if CD got cut in half, that would essentially mean that CE is the same length or congruent to DE. And that should be enough information for you to solve for X given the equations that I gave you over there. Now in this one, I said that BD bisects angle ABC. So this is the whole angle ABC. And I would start by drawing these figures on your own paper. So if you have ABD, that's 2x plus 6. And because this specifically bisects the angle, now they already drew the little curves on there for you, but that means that angle ADB is actually, angle ABD is actually congruent to angle CBD. It also means that this angle right here, or this one, which we don't know, is actually half of the whole thing. So if I were to use this information, and I would mark that the whole thing is 6x minus 10. There's a couple different ways you can solve this. So I need you to think about the fact that we know these two things are the same, right? And their total would be this whole thing. So there's probably 3 to 4 different ways you can solve this. But I'm going to need you to have to figure that out for yourself. Don't forget the angle addition property that says that angle ABD plus angle CBD is equal to angle ABC. So you should be able to use that information. Maybe either these two things could help you, or you could solve it. So this would take like maybe a couple more steps. This would be a little faster to do it this way, but I don't know which way you're going to think about it. For number 3, it says x and y are equal to 90 and z plus y equals 90. So what can we conclude about x and z? Now in this problem, you don't have the actual amounts for these variables. So you can try to make up numbers and see what would work. The key is that y is the same thing in both of them. So if you pretend like y is 30, right? So you would have x plus 30 equals 90 and z plus 30 equals 90. You're going to end up getting a certain value for x and z. If you pretend y is 10, and you do x plus 10 equals 90 and z plus 10 equals 90, you're going to get a value for x and z. And if you repeat this process, you should be able to figure out a pattern for how x and y relate to each other. And that's all the information I'm going to give you for that one. In this one, a perpendicular bisector, so we know that if it's perpendicular, that means EN cuts LM in half and intersects it at 90 degrees. So if I know that information, so LM is the one that got cut in half. I know that from M to O would be equal to OL. I also know that OM is half of LM. That's an O. And I know that OL is half of LM. So I'm going to be able to use a lot of this information. So here I've got OM, here I've got LM, and I also know that OM plus OL is going to equal the whole thing, which is LM. So again, kind of like with the angles one, you can use some of this information to figure out how to set up your equations. For number 5, you're just going to have to draw these two and show them bisecting each other at this point. So that one I'm not going to give you any hints on. This one, you're trying to figure out what's congruent. So are there any parts of this picture that you can say are equal because of this statement? So I would go back to your notes and look up what an angle bisector is and see if you can figure out what is congruent in this picture. For this one, again, you're just going to have to figure out how these angle pairs relate. You can use the notes from there to kind of find out whether they're equal to each other or they're supplementary. And this is the parallel line marks, so you can solve the problem, but you're going to have to use some of the information from the notes we took the other day. Same thing for this. You're going to want to decide what angle pair this is. You're going to do that for this one and that one. So what angle pair are these? And that's going to determine whether we set them equal or we say that they add up to 180. So that's really the big question, is based on this angle pair, should these two angle measures be equal or should they end up adding up to 180? And it's going to depend on where the angles are and what angle pair they are. Remember, the angle pair names are vertical, linear pair, alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side interior, same side exterior, and corresponding. So the question marks are like, okay, well, what angle pair is it? Once you figure out that, you can decide whether they should be set equal or they should equal 180. Remember, you use this when they are congruent and use this when they are supplementary. And I'll go over the rest of it in class tomorrow. If you're unsure of how to do it, I would try to work through some of them, but at least draw the picture and include all of the symbols and all of the angles that are marked, and try your best to determine what angle pair they are. Good luck.